At this time, we're going to move to public comments, and I'm going to ask our friend Andy Whiteman to come forward, please. Welcome, Andy.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Board of Alder people. That pledge by the Scouts is always very impressive. I thank them for that. Also, I'd like to mention that on the way in here, I paid my personal property taxes. Personal property taxes are due December 31st. Hopefully everybody remember it. And if you're going to pay it, you might as well pay it here at City Hall because the city gets a take of the action. In my case, the car is a little under $200, so I guess they get about $2. If somebody owns the $3,000 taxes on their house, city probably be getting about $30. So let the city have a take of the action. I object to your consent agenda. While you may think these are routine, I disagree. You are appointing people to boards. These people may be known to many. The public has a right to hear an explanation of each person's qualifications. There have been comments in the Raytown report about appointments. There is a public right to know. Authorizing payment for $21,320 is certainly not routine. To some people, this sum represents a lot of money. The public is due an explanation. An explanation should be offered for each item, discussed and voted on. If an alderperson wants to start a discussion, if no alderperson wants to start a discussion, a motion and vote is in order. If this practice continues, all items could be declared routine and not discussed, avoiding public discussion. In reference to vacant buildings, they obviously can be a real problem. I was unable to stay for the whole last discussion due to illness in the family. Also, you no longer have detailed minutes, so no one will ever know what was said. All that will be known is that there was a discussion, which is a pitiful way to maintaining city records. I've had 2 such buildings near me, except one which is occupied and looked like a trash dump. When walking my dog, I have observed vacant buildings. Frequently, there is a notice on the front door with a number for codes to call in case of violations. Yet it is said that at these meetings, the codes has no clue whom to contact. Why not call the number posted on the sign? Seems simple to me. I question the definition of vacant. What constitutes a vacant building? If someone is on vacation or has more than one home in his way, is that home vacant? I used to carry mail. When I observed the blinds open and no furniture, I assumed the home to be vacant. One case, it was explained to me by another carrier, the house was not vacant. People did not have furniture. Alderman Azier stated that there were occupied homes without electricity. Is it illegal not to have electricity? There was a time when no one had electricity. Electricity is expensive here, especially after the city franchise tax. I can't believe there is a law requiring electricity. A good ordinance should be both reasonable and enforceable. Is it reasonable to expect a person who moves to know that he must notify the city that the home is vacant? I question how you will enforce such an ordinance. When you locate the owner, will you extradite him from another city or state? It seems the expense will be more than the fine. I used to dispatch the sheriff's department and came across warrants that could only be enforced in a particular city or county because the issuing entity did not want to pay the cost of extradition. I spoke with Alderman Kramer, and it was my understanding that he stated this proposed ordinance was mainly for lenders. Is this ordinance going to be written specifically for lenders? It is quite possible that there are small lenders who have no knowledge of this ordinance. I'm speaking of a seller who is allowing a buyer to pay him directly instead of using the lending institution. It seems to me it is not legal to write an ordinance that applies to only specific groups of people. I agree that vacant buildings can be a real problem and unmaintained property can certainly be a fire or health hazard as well as lowering property values. Obviously something should be done, but I wonder if requiring a person to report his vacant property could be a Fifth Amendment violation.
You got 30 seconds, Andy.
I would think that when a neighbor reports a problem, codes could follow up and contact the owner. In the case of foreclosure, contact information is usually on the front door. If not, this information is in the county tax records. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.